Hey guys, welcome. In this lecture, we are going to be able to upload the picked category image and the category name to our Cloud Firestore database. But first, we are going to be able to upload the picked category image to our Firebase storage. Then after, we are going to get the download URL or the image URL and then upload it within our Cloud Firestore database. Okay. Now to do this, we have to go back to our VS Code and then we can easily just copy code, but I'm going to be doing this one more time for the sake of mastering, or you can just go and copy. Okay, category screen, Ctrl and B to make this wide. Okay, and we're going to be doing this right after, before this function, and we can call this underscore upload category banner to storage. Okay. And within the parentheses, we're going to be passing a variable known as image. So anytime we call this function, we then have to pass the value to that variable. And also we can specify it is a type of dynamic, so it can be any type of data. Okay, great. And now we need to have access to the storage. And in order to do that, we're going to be using the package we had earlier installed. Okay, finer, and we can just go ahead and say it is a type of Firebase storage, and we can call this underscore storage, and it's going to be equal to Firebase storage, then dot instance. Great. And now the first step is to create a folder where all our categories images are going to be stored. To do this, we have to call the underscore storage, and we then have to say dot ref and then dot child. The child is referring to the name of the folder, so we can call this category images. And we can then say dot child again, which is referring to the name of the file or the image itself. And it's gonna be the file name. And over here we need this. Okay, great. And what we have to do now is to store the result in a variable called ref, and it wants us to specify the type of this variable. It is a type of reference. Okay, great. Now we have to upload the image to our storage. To do that, we then have to say ref.put data, put data, and we want to put the image. Great. And also we can store the result in a variable, and it expects also store the variable in a type of something known as upload task. And we can then call this variable upload task. Great. Sounds cool. And it's going to take some time to upload this image. So what we can do is we can use the async over here. And the reason for this is because we want to use the await. And now we have to say await upload. You can see this is a variable basically saving this. So it's going to take some time to upload, or it's going to take some time to put this image. So we are saying we want to be able to wait, or we want to be able to wait till it uploads. And also we can store this in a variable, and it expects us to store it in a variable of type or something known as task snapshot. And for short, we can call this variable snapshot. Great. Sorry. And this is basically all we need to do. But we also want to get the URL of that image and upload it within our Cloud Firestore database. To do this, we then have to say await, because it's going to take some time to fetch that URL, and we then have to call this variable snapshot dot ref then dot get download URL. And now we can store the result in a variable Here we can, it's going to be a type of string because it is a URL, and we can call this download URL. Okay, and lastly, we have to return the URL, download URL. Sounds good. This is basically all we need to store images to our storage. Great. And over here, you can see we have this function called upload category. And if the form is valid, we then want to call that function. But first of all, we have to use the async over here because we're going to be using the await async. And if the form is valid, we then want to say await, then call the function, it is called upload banner to storage. And you can see now it's asking for the value to that variable. And the value is going to be the picked image. Seems good. And also we can store the result in a variable, a string, and we can call this image URL. Okay, great. And hopefully understand all this. And now what we then want to do is we want to create a collection where our category image is going to be stored and also the category name or the name of our category. And first of all, what we want to do now is we want to be able to grab the value of whatsoever the user is going to type. Now to do this, first of all, we have to create a variable to store that value. Over here, we can just create a variable. It's going to be a type of late. And the reason it is a type of late is because currently we are not assigning any value to it. Okay, so we can call it's going to be a type of string because it is a test, and we can call this category name. Okay, and also we can get rid of this late and use a question mark over here to say we are not currently assigning any value to it. So at this point, it can be null. But in order for us to avoid this null check, we can just get rid of this and use the late. The late basically means we are currently not assigning any value to it, so it can be null. So this and this is same. Okay, great. And within the test form field, it has a property known as unchanged. And within the parentheses, it's going to take in value, which is basically referring to whatsoever the user is going to type in. And now we can then call the category name variable and store the value to it. And this is basically it. Great. Okay, wait for this. And now, in order to store data within the Cloud Firestore, in order to store data within the Cloud Firestore database, we have to use that package we had earlier installed. Okay, to do this, we can just create a variable to store that. And we can just go ahead and specify it is a type of Firebase Firestore. Firebase Firestore, and we can call this underscore Firestore, and it's going to be equal to Firebase Firestore, then dot instance. Great. And over here, we also do have to use the await because it's going to take some time to create that new collection called, which is going to be called categories. Okay. And now we can then say underscore faster dot collection, and all our categories are going to be stored in a collection called categories. And we can then say dot doc, which is basically referring to the second dot child. That is the category itself. Okay, remember over here, this first dot child is referring to the name of the folder where all our category images are going to be stored. Then this second dot child is referring to the image itself or the category image itself. So same goes to what we are doing over here. The first category is the first collection. This collection you're seeing over here is referring to the name or the folder where all our categories is going to be stored. And the doc is referring to the category itself. Okay, and for the category name, because we have to name this, it's going to be the file name. And we then have to say dot set. Okay, and the first child, sorry, the first value we want to save is the image. We can call this image, and then it's going to be image URL. Seems cool. And the second field we want to store is the category name. And this is going to be what? Category name. You can see it over here. You can see we have a variable called category name over here. Then within the test form field, it has a property known as unchanged. And within the parentheses, it has a value, which is basically referring to whatsoever the user is going to type in here. Currently, we have this value of ff, so this ff is referring to that value, or the value is referring to that ff. Okay, great. And let's see if we had called this function. Okay, you can see we have this function called upload categories, and click on this function, whenever we click on this, we want to call this function. Okay, seems good. Use Ctrl and S to save to make sure. Sorry, Ctrl and S to save. And also we can just add a comma over here to format this properly. Okay, and let's go check things out to see if it's going to work without errors. Category. And also I can just have a loading spinner first. Okay. Mainly we click on it, we want to say easy loading dot show. And over here we can then say dot when complete. After it finishes uploading, we want to then say easy loading dot what dot dismiss. And also we can set state to clear our image. We can then say set state, and this is going to be underscore image. Now we can set it back to null. Remember, we basically use the set state to update the UI. We want to update that image to a test, right? So we want to update that image back to the test, which is going to say category. Okay, you can see it over here. And let's wait for this. And it's going to work as expected, surely. And sorry, I'm just going to go back. And then categories and upload image. And scroll down. Okay, snack. Okay, this. And this is going to be, for now, it can just be called snack. Or we can just go like this for now and save. And you can see now we have this loading spinner or this easy loading, and you can see it has been uploaded. And also we have to clear these fields, but let's go and check if it worked as expected. Okay, come to rules and go back to data in order to refresh that. Okay. Okay, you can see now we have these categories. Seems good. And also we can check our storage to see, and you can see the file name is snack.png, and you can see snacks. You can see the name of the category, the category image. Okay, working as expected. And also we can open this in a new tab.